Hey guys, welcome to the next episode of Campfire Devotions. Today we're going to be in Philippians 1 and focusing on 1:21, which is to live as Christ, to die as a gain. It's one of those coffee mug verses that everyone loves to quote, and we're going to break it down. Coming up next. Good evening. We've reached a point in the book of Philippians where we have come up to one of what we would call the coffee mug verses of Philippians. And that's Philippians 1:21, which is to live is Christ, to die is gain. Now this famous verse in Philippians, when taken out of context or anything, or even actually more specifically, what people like to focus on is that to die is gain. And when they do that, all they want to talk about and all they want to think about is, someday when I get to heaven, someday when we're in heaven, it is going to be this marvelous thing. And, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that and focusing on heaven. It's a place that, we all look forward to being someday, right? But in the essence and taking the heart of what Paul is really saying here, it kind of takes away from the overall message. So let's go ahead and get into Philippians 1, and we're going to read a few verses here and then talk about them a little bit. So let's talk about Philippians 1, and we're going to start on verse 19, okay? So, for I know that through your prayers and the help of the Spirit of Jesus Christ, this will turn out for my deliverance, as it is my eager expectation and hope that I will not be at all ashamed, but that with full courage, now, as always, Christ will be honored in my body, whether by life or death. Here we go, 21. For to me, to live is Christ, and to die is gain. So let's break this down a little bit, okay? Paul, let's remember this, is writing this while in prison. So let's think about what he's seeing right now. He's looking all around him at this gloomy bricks and chains, and let's not even talk about the smell, okay, of a Roman prison, all right? Let's not even talk about that, but this is all the stuff that Paul is experiencing while he's writing these words that say, for I know that through your prayers and the help of the Spirit of Jesus Christ, this will turn out for my deliverance, okay? Now, let's switch this around and think that I am a member of the Church at Philippi and I'm reading this letter. So I read this, I start seeing Paul saying, yeah, I know at the end I'm going to be delivered from this. This is going to be my deliverance. And me, like a guy from the Church of Philippi, I'm saying, yeah, Paul, exactly. You're not going down, man. I'm here with you. But then Paul kind of turns it, doesn't he? He kind of turns it on him. Okay? Let's read this a little bit more, all right? As it is my eager expectation, verse 20. As it is my eager expectation and hope that I will not be at all ashamed, but that with full courage, not as always, Christ will be honored in my body. So Paul is saying that no matter what, I'm not going to be ashamed. Christ is going to be honored in this body. And it doesn't matter if this body has breath in it or not. This body is going to honor Christ. Now let's remember this, okay? Back in biblical times, like when this would have been made, it was very much kind of a shame society. Shame and honor, right? So whenever Paul is saying that I will not be put ashamed, okay, so people that were put in prison, people that were hung on a cross, crucified, Romans lived for this, okay? They lived to just shame people. That's how they kept societies under control, okay? But Paul is saying, even though I'm in prison, even though my situation right now looks really, really glim, really, just looks so, I don't know what to do, it looks like that. He's saying, I'm not going to be put ashamed. Because Christ is going to be honored whether I'm in prison, whether I'm not, and he's going to be glorified in harvest and in plenty. Paul is paving the way for the rest of the book. He is showing the people at Philippi that no matter what, I am content. Because I know that this means my deliverance. I will not be put ashamed, whether if I die or if I live. Christ is honored. Christ is glorified. Okay? So it starts out by kind of thinking like, hey, don't worry guys, I'm gonna get out of this. But he turns it, it's like, no, you don't understand. By my deliverance, I mean, it doesn't matter if I live or if I die, Christ is glorified. That is my deliverance. That is ultimately what matters. So let's think about that. Let's remind ourselves of that. That ultimately what matters is that we glorify Christ. Is that his name is put above all else. And that leads us right into Philippians 1:21, where he says, to live is Christ, to die is gain. All right? We need to reach a point that no matter what, how we look at all of our success, everything we do on this planet, that when we die, that is actually gain. Yes, because we get to know where our forever home is. But let's not forget the first part of that verse. To live is Christ. But what does that mean? Ultimately, what that means is that everything you do, everything you say, everything you do during your spare time, everything that you look at, everything you read, everything that involves your family, how you interact, all of that, everything is here so you can point to Christ. J.R. Sproul says it nicely. He says, Christ is the Alpha and Omega of creation. And the only reason why you and I are here is to bring him glory. We are here for him. We are here because of him. And let's remember a phrase that's been made popular here lately. YOLO, right? You only live once. Let's put that in Christian terms. We only have one shot at this, guys. We only have one shot. Let's reach a point where we know that no matter what, either in harvest or not, right? In good and bad, in highs and in lows, we become content in knowing that we will honor Christ in all that we do. His name be glorified. To live is Christ because he is our life. He is our light. Live out Matthew 5 and be the light of this world. Be imitators of Christ. Point everything back to him as your Lord and Savior. Thank you for joining us in this next episode of Campfire Devotions. Be sure to continue to follow us here on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. We look forward to connecting with you all there. As always, please give us a like, give us a subscribe. That helps with the algorithm and grows the channel so we can reach a broader audience with the gospel for RV families. Thank you again for joining us.